Most of our old mine stories are from the old American West and parts of Canada. It was in these areas that history saw some of the world's biggest gold rushes, starting back in the 1800s. But elsewhere in the world there were miners who started gold rushes of their own. In today's story, you will hear about one such gold rush that happened on the other side of the world, down in New Zealand. It was in May of 1861 that an Australian prospector by the name of Gabriel Read found gold on the banks of the Tuapeka River in New Zealand. He wrote, "At a place where a kind of road crossed on a shallow bar, I shoveled away about 2.5 feet of gravel, arrived at a beautiful soft slate, and saw the gold shining like the stars in Orion on a dark frosty night." There was little reaction at first, until John Hardy of the Otago Provincial Council stated that he and Read had prospected country about 31 miles long by 5 wide, and in every hole they dug, they had found the precious metal. It was at this time that the actual gold rush began. By December of the same year, over 12,000 prospectors were on the Tuapeka and Waipori fields. The region's population grew by almost 400% between 1861 and 1864, with prospectors swarming in from the dwindling Australian goldfields. Then there was another strike in 1862, around the town of Cromwell. Lots of greenhorns and prospectors and miners staked claims from the Shotover River in the west through to Naseby in the north. In November 1862, Thomas Arthur and Harry Redfern looked for gold on the banks of the Shotover River. The two struck gold on a claim that became known as Arthur's Point. This strike led to the largest rush that ever occurred in the Otago area. Most of the old buildings at Queenstown today, such as Ichart's Hotel, McNeil's Brewery, the Lake Lodge of Ophir, the Queenstown Police Station, and Stone Courthouse, were all built as a response to the rapid influx. By the end of 1863, the real gold rush was over, but larger companies continued to mine the alluvial gold. In February 1864, there were 18,000 miners in Otago. Read's discovery of gold sparked the interest of people, and a lot of people traveled great distances in the hope of striking it rich. The news of gold at Gabriel's Gully reached the inhabitants of Dunedin and the rest of the world. Many prospectors immediately left their families and homes in search of gold. The majority of these prospective prospectors were laborers and tradesmen in their late teens and 20s. These goldfields all gave rise to mining towns and communities of temporarily shops, hotels, and miners' huts made from canvas or calico fabric-covered timber frames. As the goldfields became more developed, communities became more permanent, with buildings constructed in timber and concrete. The city of Dunedin reaped many of the benefits, briefly becoming New Zealand's largest town, even though it had only been founded in 1848. Many of the city's stately buildings date from this period of prosperity. New Zealand's first university, the University of Otago, was founded in 1869, with wealth derived from the goldfields. However, the rapid decline in gold production from the mid-1860s led to a sharp drop in the province's population, and while not unprosperous, the far south of New Zealand never rose to such relative prominence again. Miners still work the many creeks in New Zealand today. With modern gold recovery equipment, many of these creeks are still producing the gold. I hope you enjoyed this short story about the gold of Gabriel's Gully. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you more old lost mine stories.